Hi everyone, I'm Les,
And I'm Ashley.
and you're listening to Anthropotamus, where we explore some of your favorite anthropology topics.
Hey everyone, welcome to our latest episode of Anthropotamus. It is 2025. We're already on our second episode. Woo! Hope everyone's 2025 is going well. Mine is going pretty good. Gained 30 pounds off of eating too many tamales, but just got my workout done. Got my super cool t-shirt I just had to share with you. Kind of fit, kind of fat. I love donuts. But today we're discussing the book exploring. Actually, it's two books. I did not realize this when I picked these books off of Audible, but it's two books exploring simulated worlds, and the second book is Parallel Realities: A Beginner's Bundle to, I guess, to Simulation Hypothesis, Multiverse, and Beyond. Um, so this book is by, we actually don't know the author's name for this. Um, it just says by House of Abundance, and we tried looking up who House of Abundance is, and it just tells us it's a 37-year-old author who, I don't know. I think what was their first book that they're well known for is Self Care for Black Women, which I found interesting because I'm not sure how you go from writing about self care to simulation theory, but tells me they are a fellow ADHDer who can't decide on what they want to hyperfocus on.
The struggle's real, but I can also see this being, and I don't know for sure. Obviously, we looked it up and we couldn't find any information on this person, but it could just be that it's a publishing company using collected works from like an aggregate of writers and just putting them together.
That's what I was wondering if it's just really multiple authors, but I mean, it does say a 37-year-old author. So maybe that's just the head author. I don't
Well,
know. I'm just wondering if this author just wants to say private. But I mean, her photo
well,
is there on Amazon, so why would you put a photo if you wanted to say private?
were you able to look up the author for the other book that
The
the
South, which one?
Self-Care for Black Women, was it?
I actually didn't look it up.
Well,
I'm
if she's
assuming that also gonna say abundance, House of Abundance.
maybe.
I don't know. Anyways, so today we thought we would have a little fun and read some.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I was trying
Well,
not
I
to
suppose
use
this isn't
that.
really a conspiracy. These are more like alternate universe theories, and that's that's cool. I enjoy string theory. I enjoy talking about other possibilities. I've definitely had the conversation of is maybe we should preface this. The two books are about two different alternate thoughts about reality, right? So obviously we all live in the world, we all experience it the same way. The first book is saying that we're in a simulation. So if you've ever heard of simulation theory, it should be called simulation hypothesis. It's not a theory. There's absolutely no evidence to back it up, but nonetheless, it is a way of explaining the world. And the book goes into pretty good detail about how and why this might work. Gotta say though, there's just not a ton of evidence to support it. Like like
I mean, the
zero,
book
basically
basically
zero.
says there's no evidence.
Yeah, and I was gonna get say it's got some credit there because it definitely says there's no empirical evidence. I know there's nothing really to support it, but there's also not a lot that says it's not possible, right? There's nothing
Mhm.
that really says that it's impossible.
And you know what? And that really just made me think of every other religion we have. It's just, to me, it was just a contemporary religious belief for
Mhm.
anybody who does believe it. That's what
Yeah, exactly.
made me think.
Like, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not a religious man. Um, and it's it seems no less plausible to me than many of the other religions I've read about and studied.
Yes. Granted, I don't know anything really about simulations and binary code and um, any of that stuff. So
Ones and zeros.
ones and zeros. So to me, I was like, okay, no evidence, got it. I do have to say, I did enjoy the multiverse book better.
Well, that one's got
Um,
more possible, like more supporting evidence to it as well. Like, it's still not proven, obviously, but Einstein did a lot of work towards proving. Was it Einstein? I don't want to give you misinformation.
yeah, I don't
I'm not going
remember
to say
names.
Einstein. There's been a lot of work in physics that indicates that string theory has some support. But then again, I might just be quoting Big Bang. I don't know.
Yeah, I the last time I took physics is probably over 20 years ago in high school, so I can't.
I never took physics.
Oh, I took it in high school, but
I
that was
skipped it.
like a long over 20 years ago, so I can't really say much about it. And when I hear string theory, all I think about is Sheldon Cooper. So
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely that. It's a fun idea, though. It's a really fun idea. And I've read a little bit about quantum entanglement and how that works, and they bring that up during the book. I don't understand what they were going for when they talked about quantum entanglement, other than like once things become connected, they stay connected, which I think is a very romantic idea, even at the atomic level, I suppose. Although trying to remind to like associate, I guess humans can do that with anything, can't we?
associate
Like
things with each other.
associate, no matter how far apart they are, they're always connected. If you measure one, the other one changes, etc., right? That's the gist of how it works from what I understand. It that seems romantic to me, even with atoms.
And this might be where the healthcare, going back to their original book, self-care. I mean, you know what? Maybe we need to read the self-care for Black women to understand why this particular author is into these different topics. Maybe they would connect and make more sense because they discuss how, the idea of our choices, how do I say this? Like we may have made this choice B in this experience, but we could have chosen choice A in another experience. So instead of having regrets for the choices we've made, it's comforting to have this idea that there is another us in another universe who made the other choice and is living that life. Um,
Right? The Schrodinger's cat
yeah, I
thing.
think they mentioned
Yes.
that, but I
Yeah.
like that idea. I'm like, you know,
Like, well, this didn't work out because I made a bad decision, but in another universe, I made the right
mhm.
decision.
Maybe in
See,
another universe, I'm a forensic anthropologist. I don't know.
that's not very comforting for me. Like, in another universe, there's a lot of choices that I've made in life that I think have brought me to a good place right now.
Hmm.
In another world, if I had made different choices, who knows where I'd be. I was planning to go into the Marines back when I was, 16, 17. I was talking to a recruiter and
You
I
could
chose
be using the GI Bill right now, getting with
like
the VA loan and having
maybe.
military disability.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe. Maybe I would have, gone over there and come back in a box. Who knows?
it's possible. But I mean, you could also, could have ran a red light one day and got yourself in a horrible accident and been paralyzed.
That is also true. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'd be an astronaut.
Who knows? I mean, I think that, and I think because also too the idea of me always wanting to try different things and learn different things and experience all these different things life has to offer, that the idea of me having all these different adventures in different universes in a way is kind of comforting.
I agree with you there. Life is way too short to experience everything, and I
Mhm.
just want to experience everything that I can. Right? There's so much going on. There's so much to do, so many things to learn
Mhm.
and try. Yeah, that I can see being a bit more comforting, I suppose. Even if I, in this time, in this moment, haven't done the idea that some other version of me has done more or has done the things that I haven't yet. That's pretty comforting.
Mhm. Or I could be, another me could be living in a box somewhere.
Yeah, that's
So,
also true. Like I could definitely see myself ending up in a whole different situation. You never know, right?
but I
But
mean, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but as far as the book goes, yeah, it's essentially just talking about it's just more of a primer or an overview of these potential life views, I guess. pretty harmless, but also it's more of a why not situation than
Mhm.
anything else. There's not a lot of science behind it. There's not a lot of, actually in the books that's supporting anything. It's more of a you should know about this way of thinking than anything else.
It is a little like when you think about multiverses and every choice we make creates like another, well, that's another thing, timelines. Let me go back. I think it's, I think multiverses is kind of like mind-boggling for us sometimes because in a Western perspective, we have a very linear perspective of time, right? Whereas other cultures, it's not necessarily linear, but maybe circular.
Cyclical.
Yeah, thank you. So this idea of all these different choices and all these different time periods, and then it's really an infinite possibility of universes we could have because if not only our it's not our own individual choices that are making these, but it's all our different choices combined creating these different possible universes, if that makes sense, like the combination, all the different combinations of all our different choices put together creating all these different universes.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw something out here. Imagine doing archaeology not just across normal time, but across the multiverse.
You know what? Okay, so
That's a book idea right there.
so
That's all I'm
and you
saying.
know they did not bring, so you know they talk about different shows that discuss multiverses and stuff.
Uh-huh.
You know which one they didn't bring up? I don't remember them bringing up that they should have brought up was Sliders.
Mm.
And I mean,
Yeah, that was a good one.
did you ever watch like all the episodes?
A lot. Gosh, I don't
Do you
even
remember
remember how
how it?
many.
Do you remember how it ended?
No, that's
Okay,
been more than
so
20 years.
okay, well, I rewatched them all like 10 years ago, but it stood out to me because, and this is when I was going through field school and stuff when I finished this up. At the last season, there's an episode where they're, the timeline is all off. The universe they're in is like way in the future. And they're doing an archaeological dig and they're digging up like parking meters and stuff. And they know what all this stuff is, but they can't say nothing because they can't tell them where they're from. Well, at the end of that episode, they find this like hidden shrine. You know that big red car they used to have?
Yeah,
Well, the big red car is there, and there's like a shrine to what is that character's name? He was the singer.
I don't remember any of their
Okay, you remember the
names.
black guy, right? He was a
Yeah.
singer. It's a shrine to him.
Okay.
And everybody his picture's there. So when they find it, everybody's like, dude, why is your picture here? So then they move into the next universe. Like a couple episodes later, he's basically the only one left. And he's about to jump into another universe. And they have a, he, I think he has a plan to like save everybody. But he has to jump into this universe to save everybody.
Uh-huh.
But it's kind of like, and then that's it. That's the end of that's the complete end of the show. But you already kind of know what's going to happen because there's already that shrine of him in that past episode.
That's
So it
good
just made me,
foreshadowing.
yeah, it's just like, so you, I mean, they don't show it, but you know he saves the world because that shrine's there from a different universe. But it made me think of that
It's a
when I
very
was,
tidy ending.
yeah, I was like, it's just like
Archaeology.
sliders.
There you go, everybody. You guys don't need to watch Sliders anymore. We already summed it up.
Yeah,
We
basically.
ruined the ending. Spoiler.
FYI, I hated when they added that brother in the show. It's like you don't need to add that brother. It makes no sense. It's stupid.
It was a
But
good
yeah,
show.
it was. But it just, I almost feel like it was. I feel like Sliders is really one of those shows that really got us into this whole idea of multiverses.
Well, did Sliders come out before or after Stargate?
Mm. It goes around the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Sliders was copying Stargate.
I never watched Stargate. Somebody told me to watch it that they said if I like Sliders, then I would like Stargate.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get past like the first 5 minutes. Maybe I'll go back. I'm gonna
You know
look.
what? We should review Stargate. They literally have an archaeologist on the team.
Okay, so Sliders came out in March 1995. Stargate did come out first. It came out in October 1994.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say Stargate kind
Yeah.
of introduced it. I don't know, is there shows
There are,
before that that really kind of took off that was about multiverses and stuff?
I mean, was it the Twilight Zone had multiverse concepts in it.
I didn't really watch that.
I
I mean, I
didn't
watched
watch
episodes
I
here and
watched
there.
a lot of it. I mean, there was the X-Files. I think they had an episode or two that kind of hinted at it.
I don't know. I feel like that Stargate and the Sliders is really kind of what took off our interest in multiverses. And then you get like the late 90s and stuff, and you have Marvel. But I guess the comics, though, were doing that before that. But
Oh yeah,
I wasn't a
definitely.
comic reader.
I read a couple comics. They weren't
Yeah.
super big when I was growing up though.
I tried. I actually tried, started to watch. I went and got, if you go, X-Men has like, the first books X-Men ever came out with.
Hmm.
They have a book of like the first like 5 or 10 comics just all in one
Right.
book. So I got that. I was like, I'm gonna read about the original X-Men. And then I think I got through 2 comics and
It's
lost the book.
surprising that a book with so many pictures can be um can struggle so hard to get to grab my interest. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know, right?
You would think
I don't know.
I don't know. So the thing about for books for me is I'm reading for the story and my I guess my imagination is actually extremely vivid. So when I'm reading words on the page, I see everything that happens and I hear not everybody has that. So I see everything that happens and I can put myself in those situations without really much effort. With a comic book though, I have to go and search for the bubbles, and it is visually interesting, but I get lost in the pictures and forget the story.
What's funny is I often think in pictures, it makes it hard for me to like articulate the things I want to say. And I was
Hmm.
trying to explain to my daughter a math problem, and I was trying to trying to like have her visualize the fractions, and she goes, I was like, I'm trying to get you create the picture for you in your mind. I was like, Mom, I don't see pictures in my head, and I'm just like, oh,
Like
like not everyone thinks like me, and I know people don't think like me, but it kind of like it affects, you don't stop
it's
to
hard to
think about
explain
that.
things to people who don't see the pictures. Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like, oh God, how do I explain this to you then? But point being, she actually super loves comics. She really loves manga or manga. I don't know, is it manga or manga?
depends
I
on who
don't
you
know.
ask, I guess.
I guess. Anyway, she's super into manga. So maybe that's why, because she doesn't think in pictures, so the pictures help her.
Yeah,
Anyways,
could be.
we're totally off topic.
Oh man, that was a rabbit hole and a half.
Back to the book.
I'm telling you, we need to make that a
T-shirt. We
shirt.
need a
That
T-shirt. I'm gonna make
back
a
to the
note of it.
book.
Back to the book. Um,
We need a graphic with a bunch of random books that are just kind of dusty because we left them on the side.
we will. We will. So for our listeners, we do plan to start selling merch in the summer again. So that will be there. We have to have that shirt as
Back
part
to the
of
book
the
is
merch. Back
definitely
to
our
the book.
motto. Uh,
Yes.
so,
But
um,
anyways.
as far as this double feature of a book goes, I think they're both very interesting. If you want to have a topic of conversation to go over at like a cocktail party, if you like that, it's a good quick conversation starter and something to really just kind of hash out. Conceptually speaking, it's very interesting. It's a fun topic.
What also made me think is okay, so everybody thinks their religion is the one true religion, right? But it made me think, what if everybody's religion is true? It's just true in different multiverses, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's it right there. Everybody's religion
Mm-hmm.
is true. We're just in the wrong multiverse. That's it.
But
Yep.
who knows? Who knows,
Of
right?
course, if
Butterflies
that
up.
is true, then the spaghetti monster is out there somewhere, and the Pastafarians are very happy about that. So,
You never know. You never know, right?
I don't know if I like that thing's
There's
existence, really.
well, you're not in that multiverse, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I gotta be happy about that. I'm not in that multiverse.
Uh, but it did make me think that too, because the simulation portion of the books, I was like, this is very religious. Like,
So
um,
I'm sorry, I have to say this about that. For the simulation theory, if we are in a simulation, why aren't there more interesting mobs? We got sharks. So what else do we have? Wolves and bears and crocodiles and stuff like that, right? Those are things that could potentially be dangerous, right? But we find dinosaur bones, and could you just imagine if dinosaurs could randomly spawn in the universe? So just down the street, you got a T-Rex pops into existence, and now
I
we
mean,
have to
technically,
deal
we
with.
still have dinosaurs. They evolved into birds.
Yes, we have avian dinosaurs, but I don't believe that. And maybe I'm wrong. If I am wrong, please do comment and correct me. But like uh, T-Rexes, I don't believe were avian dinosaurs.
I have no idea, honestly. I'm not a what is it, paleontologist?
Paleontologist.
Um,
They're the other discipline that people confuse us with.
yeah,
Yeah.
I am definitely
So
not a paleontologist.
paleontologists are the
Ancient
they're the
animals,
rock stars of the digging
ancient worlds.
scientists. Yeah. Yeah, they're the
Uh,
Chads.
yeah,
We're just the nerds.
yeah, unfortunately. I mean, but maybe to whoever's creating the simulation, maybe we're the interesting animals.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we are kind of terrifying. Can you imagine being an animal? Everything else in the animal kingdom has either hair or feathers and walks on four legs or flies, right? That all
Hmm.
seems pretty normal. They all do pretty normal things. They go seek out some food. They go this place, they go that place, they hibernate, they all this kind of stuff that animals do, right? And then you've got some hairless bipeds. Now, for one, we've got to look diseased. Can you imagine like with mammals, right? What most mammals look like when they don't have hair is first of all really awful.
Like a
Um,
hairless bear.
the hairless bear looks terrible. Poor things that you just want to put some salve on there and send them to a doctor or a vet. But that's not their natural state, obviously. Now, we look like we have some hair on top of our head, so we look like we should have hair, but we don't. We're basically cryptids of the animal world. We will follow you until you die. Persistence
Mhm.
hunting, right? And there are so many of us. We've got to be terrifying. We are the monsters in this world. That's us.
Yeah, pretty much. We just destroy everything. Like in the Matrix says, we're just parasites. Was it parasites or viruses?
I think it's viruses.
Viruses? Viruses.
I mean, from another standpoint, I think we're more like a fungus, really. If we want to look at us as humans as like another type of life, right? So think about it like this. What do funguses do to propagate?
Cling on to things? I don't know.
Well, they send out spores, right?
Yeah.
Spores that drift off in the wind and so on, and those land, and then that propagates. What are we doing to the what did we do to the continents, right? We started on one continent, we set
They
off some,
migrate.
some migrations here and there, and those spread, and they set off more here and there, and they spread. Now let's extrapolate that to a universal concept. We are currently sending spores out into space trying to propagate out there. Right
Mm,
now, from one standpoint, I was having a conversation with somebody else recently, and we were talking about tardigrades and how we've probably seeded the universe with tardigrades already. If they didn't exist beyond this planet before, they do now because of some of the probes that we put out there, especially back in the early, the earlier probes that we sent out. Don't remember the dates, but the earlier probes that we sent out, we weren't doing the same kind of controls that we were before we sent things
mm,
into space. So there's already potentially life in other places because of us.
possible. Who knows?
Who knows?
Also, random thought I had while listening to the book. Back to the book. Um,
Back to the book.
um, what was I think I mean I don't know anything about universal physics and honestly listening to this book made me think, damn, I should have taken more physics in college. But um, right, am I accurate to say that the universe is infinite and it's constantly growing?
From current understanding, yes, I believe so.
So my thought was, if there's a multiverse and we're always constantly making choices, and there's a universe for each choice we make, is it our choices that we continue to make that's causing the universe to continue to grow?
That's an interesting concept.
I don't know. That was a random thought I had. I could be totally wrong. I don't know anything about universes or physics or.
Well, let's not start another conspiracy theory right now. I don't think we need to do that.
I mean, it wouldn't be a new conspiracy theory. It just add on to the current one.
I mean, I suppose, right? But like human thought generating propulsion for the universe,
I don't know.
it's a
I mean,
cool
all
concept.
the
Can you
infinite.
imagine?
I mean, the infinite universes have to go somewhere.
True. I mean, they just keep expanding. I mean, according to current models, if this is what's happening, which it looks like that's what's happening, then as things expand, it's going to get harder and harder to connect with other uh, planets and was it celestial bodies and so on like that. So it just means that we are less and less likely as time goes on to find out if there's any other life in the universe, which is a little bit depressing.
I'm sure there is. I mean, if the universe is infinite, there has to be other life.
Well, I mean, maybe the next one that we should, or the next theory that we should research is the Fermi paradox.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So when we picked this book, honestly, I thought it was going to be some weird conspiracy theory book trying to convince me about simulation theory and stuff. But I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think you got that. I think your impression was different from my impression. I just felt like it was somebody explaining these hypotheses or theories or whatever you want to call them. Just somebody who's interested in these topics. But I feel like you said you felt like they were trying to convince.
that was yesterday. When we had that conversation, I had only read about half an hour of the book, so I didn't have a complete understanding of what they were saying. And yeah, I think I agree with you now. It's much more of an overview than a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
I just think conspiracies are, a more engaging topic that people will be more likely to click on. So,
Yeah, I
but
mean, I
yeah,
feel like if you want to learn about these topics without feeling like you're reading something that an unstable
you're
person
not
would
drinking
read,
the Kool-Aid.
yeah.
If you
If
want
you
to
want
learn
to,
about these topics without drinking the Kool-Aid,
yeah, if you want to
this is
feel like you're not reading something from a doomsday prepper, then like, um, yeah, I would say, yeah, it's a 3 hour, 3.5 hour Audible, um,
at regular speed.
at regular speed.
And
So it
he's
didn't
he
take
talks
long.
pretty slow.
Yeah,
The
no,
reader was pretty slow.
I
I,
didn't
I
think
was
it
able
was
to
too
up
slow.
it. I upped it two times the normal speed, and I could still clearly understand him.
I did not up it because I thought it wasn't really necessary. I mean, he's not a fast speaker, but I wouldn't say he's not a slow. And I don't know what I'm saying right now.
To be
Point is,
fair,
I listened to a regular speed, took 3.5 hours. It gives you a general idea of what these theories are. It's a cool like topic to maybe bring up at a party. I don't know.
yeah, it's a
So
conversation piece.
yeah, so it doesn't sound like it was written by some weird conspiracy theorist. So 3 hours, why not? Short trip.
Overall, it was pretty interesting. It's definitely not going to be my new philosophy of the universe, personally.
No,
Neither of
it's
them
not.
will, but they're good thought. They're good thought experiments, I suppose. Good thought
I would
experiments.
say too. I found the multiverse section much more interesting than the simulation
Yeah,
stuff.
the
So,
simulation theory is much less plausible from what I was reading, and maybe that's where you really like, if you're a gamer, you're gonna love the simulation theory.
mm,
That's that because it's like, okay, so maybe we can hack the universe and put some console commands in to spawn the next level of technology.
that's all I have to say about this.
Yeah, I don't think we need to say anything more about it. It was an interesting read.
I think it was kind of cool because it makes you kind of think about, well, what if this and what if that kind of, and it lets your like imagination kind of like go a little bit all over the place a bit, but not that, yeah. So like you said, not I'm gonna start
Yeah.
believing in these things.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend making this your new philosophy, but it's a cool thought experiment. It's something that a lot of people are interested in. So good conversation piece. I had much more fun talking about these ideas than I did reading the book personally. Um, but I definitely am happy that I did read the books. So there's that.
Okay, so wrapping it up, we're discussing Exploring Simulated World and Parallel Realities, a beginner's bundle to the simulation hypothesis, multiverse, and beyond by House of Abundance Publications. You can find it on Audible, you can find it on Amazon, only 3 hours long. If you're looking for book recommendations, check out our website, anthropotamus.com. We have a list of all the books we have discussed in the past, and we look forward to the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all for listening. Distribution of Anthropotamus is in collaboration with the American Anthropological Association. Please continue to follow us on Instagram and Twitter @Anthropotamus for our latest episodes, show notes, and book discussion schedule.